We have to recognize that around the world, conflicts have become more complex, transitional, and interlinked. They're fueled by competition for power and resources, inequality, marginalization and exclusion, poor governance, weak institutions, and sectarian divides. Conflicts are exacerbated by climate change, population growth, and the globalization of crime and terrorism. Global stability is being tested at every level today. Yet, recent UN reviews have highlighted that the UN is failing to live up to its obligations to prevent conflict, being instead becoming an organization overwhelmingly focused on crisis management over conflict prevention. We must rebalance our approach to prevention, addressing both short-term actions to prevent the outbreak of conflicts and ensuring longer-term and sustainable approaches to addressing structural issues. We need to do far more to prevent war and sustain peace. Working across the silos of the organizations and with partners such as the World Bank, we must connect our efforts to peace and security, sustainable development, human rights, and humanitarian response, not just in words, but in practice. You have been brought here as thinkers, practitioners, and influencers of prominence in the West African region as part of a near-global consultation process that has kicked off as part of this World Bank UN flagship study on the role of development in preventing violent conflict. While we know that in some instances, conflict at some level are inevitable as we encourage open-mindedness, it is how we manage them to prevent from being violent. This flagship study addresses how peace and security interventions often lack the tools for sustaining peace and bringing about societies in Goal 16 of the SDGs. The study will also touch upon how development preventions in fragmented and polarized environments need to be done differently to address risks of violent extremism and cross-border issues before they start. As you have discussed in working groups and preliminary discussions, only when we bring together actors involved in carrying out and focusing on economic, social, security, and political objectives can we start addressing prevention of violent conflict, as well as gender-based violence at the roots. As you have also discussed, gender and youth need stronger focus when we look at prevention. And our colleague from was highlighted earlier on, prevention works only if all key actors are able to operate on the same platform, agree on common messages, and do so in defense of human rights and governance, such as we recently witnessed in the Gambia. This begs the question, why was this possible in the Gambia? And how do we replicate it? For the case of the Gambia, we do know that the role of ECHO was predominant. During this consultation, we heard about early warning system, ECHO Warn, based on open source information, civil society organization networks, and texting containing 66 indicators. ECHO is building national centers for early warning response and mechanisms for building national infrastructure for peace. The challenge is now to find effective ways to move from warning to action, and this is where the system is improving. Today, we discussed 3 key problematics in this region to better inform the consultation of this study. The first one is how to prevent violent extremism in the Sahel. The second one is regional experience in the management of power transitions and crisis resolution. And the third one is how to address cross-border security challenges through regional mechanisms and institutions. The UN family, as part of this study, will engage at the regional level based on the outcome of the study to address the challenges of country level, but as well as regional level. We will be ready to work with international, regional, and national partners to implement the findings of the report. To conclude, our role at the regional level will be to continue to support these activities jointly with our partner, the World Bank, and also support national and regional partners to do so in support of development, poverty reduction, and also sustainable development goals. Thank you for your attention.